Sonia, does it look like the recording's on?
Yes, I can see the little red button.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so everyone, welcome to this presentation regarding Cognos reports. And we're going to go ahead and get started then. If I can figure out. Well, there we go. Okay, so today we're going to introduce you to some of the CSC team members, the Campus Support Center, for anything UC Path. And the three of us have been working on various types of reports, either Cognos or the custom reports that some people request. We're going to talk about why we changed and what's new and what are reporting bundles. We're going to do a quick demo and then show you where you can find the Cognos resource information, like job aids and some of the other, like the complete report list that is ever changing. We've added some COVID reports recently, and I believe that there's another one that is available in production that I need to add. And then, of course, any questions. So feel free to stop me if there's any questions, and so we'll go ahead and get started. So Bob Feinstein is our reporting lead, and he is the one that has been running custom reports from the ODS burst that comes in from UC Path if there isn't a Cognos report that's available. And then Bob, I don't know, are you on the line? He's been joining us.
I'm here.
Okay. Well, hi, Bob. So there you put a face to the name if you've ever had any interaction with him. And then there's Sonia Potter. She is our graduate student support lead. She takes a lot of the phone calls that come in from campus, from either employees that are having some issues or questions. And then she has also been the main person that has been validating the Cognos reports ever since we went live on UC Path. She's been part of that test team. So Sonia, you want to wave so everyone can see a face with the name. And then I'm Carol Marquez. My title is the TAM and EPER implementation lead, but I'm also the test lead for all things UCR. So do you mind, I hear some feedback on the line, so can everyone go ahead and mute themselves? That way we don't get any distractions, thank you. And so we're gonna move on. So why did we have a new Cognos implementation? Well, when we first went live with UC Path, reports were a lower priority, and so they were still really under development. And they didn't have a lot of security around the data that was coming in on the reports, and there was some concern about you know, availability, and we wanted to give the departments reports that they needed to do their jobs, right? So they created this shared folder. It was a one-off only for UCR, and it's became increasingly difficult for UC Path and the Cognos team to maintain. So as fixes came into the reports, they kept forgetting to go back to the shared folder and correct the ones that are in this area. Well, meanwhile, more and more reports were becoming available, and we still had that list of 16 reports that were in the shared folder. And now it was just really time to address making more data available to the departments and the orgs on campus so that they can manage the UC Path data a little bit easier. UC Path did mature, and they have security roles now based at the report level. So we've created bundles where there'll be a bundle for the department, a bundle for shared services, and for the central office. And each bundle, there's a payroll bundle, a benefits bundle, WFA for all job data, and accruals, and then affirmative action bundle that's only available to the central office. Essentially, so I'll go ahead and explain what's contained in those bundles. So you may not need to have every single, like a payroll and an absence management, because some of the reports are in both of those groups. So here you can see some of the high-level names that we've called them. So for the department, there are 10 absence management reports, 17 reports dealing with comp, 6 for general ledger, 10 for payroll, and 35 for WFA. And essentially the same group is available for the shared service centers, except for GL. They don't really have a need to look at GL data. It's more for department and central office use. But it's the same exact reports available in each one. So I know that a lot of people are kind of getting around that 16 report shared folder by going to a shared service center or the central office and asking them for provisioning access. Now you don't need to. You can just go to your department SAA, your shared services SAA, or the application SAA if you're in the central office. And you can find the complete report descriptions on the CSC website, and I'll take you there a little bit later, but it has each report that's in each bundle, and then also what that report data will show you. So this is an example of what is in a bundle, what we're calling a bundle. So this is the absence management. And in this first, and this is at the department level, you can see that return from leave is in the absence management bundle and also in the payroll bundle. So just to let you know, if you do that analysis, you don't have to get both. If those are the only two types of reports that you need to have, you can just get absence management. So in the absence management list, you're also going to see folders. So on the Cognos side, they still have these reports in a high-level folder area. Even though we provision you for absence management, you're going to see a folder for WFA because the Employee Service Award credits is in that Cognos folder. The leave accrual and balances summary report is in the absence management report folder for Cognos. So you will see an absence management folder. You'll see a payroll folder for these. And then actually you'll see also a benefits folder with one report in it. It'll be employee on leave for more than 6 month report. So this just kind of gives you an idea of how we have bundled the data that you might need if you are responsible for monitoring accruals for your employees. And so these bullets specifically just explain what I just said. So. Okay, so we're gonna have Sonia, I'm gonna turn it over to Sonia, and she's gonna do a quick demo of how to access the Cognos reports. Essentially, when you're in UC Path, you're gonna navigate through the main menu. You're gonna go to Quick Links, which is directly on this left-hand menu list, and then you're gonna go to Cognos reports. And from there, you'll see the folders. And so I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Sonia.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my desktop. Can everybody see my Cognos reports?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this is production, but I will start from the beginning. So here we are in the quick links, as Carol described. And from there, you click on Cognos reports. And it's going to take you, it'll take you into the report section. Under team content, that's where you're going to find the reports. Now I have access to everything. So when I open this up, you're going to see everything in here. So under here, under UC Path reporting, and then I have all the different folders that are available. If you go into workforce administration, these are all the reports that are under workforce administration. Now when it's built out and you have access to a bundle, it's going to look a little bit differently. Each bundle will have different reports in it. I'm just set up a little bit differently because I QA all the reports, and so I can see pretty much everything. I'm going to click on jobs with approaching end dates. And it does take a minute for the prompts to appear. That's why you see the report is running. Some of these reports have a lot of information in them. It might take a minute to run. It shouldn't take much longer than that. But depending on your accountability structure, there could be a lot in there. So right now it's just running to pull up the prompts that are available. When you do run a report, you will only be able to pull anything under your own accountability structure. So for instance, again, I have campus-wide accountability structure. So if you go in here, I can see pretty much any department. First thing you have to do though, when you run any report, is you have to click on the business unit, which of course there'll only be one, but then that will update the prompts below that for any department that could be here. So you see I have everything, but what you would see is any departments that are underneath your accountability structure. So you can select one, you can select more than one. You can search by department number. You can run it by employee class selection, by group or employee class, or you can run it by specific employee class. And for this particular report, the next thing you would do is click execute report. Now I'm not going to execute the report here, but what I am going to show you, and it just takes me a second to pull up, is what the report would actually looks like after you run it. So once you run the report,
So you were not seeing the,
and I apologize, I'm pulling it up.
okay, sorry.
I'm sorry. So once you've run the report, okay. The report's going to pull up and it's going to look something like this. You're still going to be in Cognos. And so what you want to do is you want to export the report into some kind of like an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF or some kind of medium where you can actually view the details within it. We recommend that you run it under Excel, because when you run it under Excel, it's going to export into Excel file so that you can slice and dice it however you like. But you also can run it under a PDF or any other one of these mediums that are here. And now I have to take it out of display mode in order to actually pull up the report. I apologize for that. So this is what the report would look like. Can you see it now, Carol?
No, it's,
Can you see it now?
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is what the report would look like once it downloads into the Excel file. You'll have your headers, you'll have your columns and information on how you ran it, and then all the detail within the report. You can add filters to it, and then you can sort how you like to sort it. And then with this particular report, you can see the job end dates are coming up within 90 days. So that would be how you would execute on a report in that way. I'm going to show you, now I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back to WFA, and I'm going to click on R108, short work break monitoring.
We're showing you these reports because they're very common reports that a lot of people use.
Very true. So R108, short work break monitoring, again, It's basically the same types of prompts that you would see in most reports. You can select from the drop-down. You can select by academics or however you like to do that. This particular report has a from date, and this report shows any work breaks commencing on or after the from date. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's, you know, if you're trying to look at a specific type of report, that's where that would be. Again, you would run it, you would download it into Excel spreadsheet, and then this is what you would get. So again, you have your columns, your headers, the different information that you can see in here. The primary columns are, you know, where are they at right now? What is their status? What is the job effective date? And what is the expected return date? And you can see how many days are remaining. Those are kind of the important ones for this particular report. Now, the last report that we wanted to show you, that's going to be R383. R383 is a probationary status trial report.
Cindy,
Again,
I'm sorry, when you're done, I think there was a question, so.
oh, sure, I can pause for a question if there's a question.
I thought someone had their hand raised.
And I apologize, when I'm sharing like I am, I can't see if
That's
there's
fine.
any chats or things. So please, please, you know,
I believe
shout
folks
out.
were just wondering about the slide deck. I responded, and I think Carol did too.
Okay. So again, R383 probationary status trial. I'm going to select our business unit. Now this one has even fewer prompts, but again, you can select by department or multiple departments if you need to, however you need to run this. You can keep this blank and just have all, and it will run for every department that's under your accountability structure. And again, after the report runs and you export it into Excel, you can see all the data within the report. And that's all I have. I'll give it back to you, Carol.
Okie doke. So we just have a few more additional things to show you. These are all the samples that'll be in the slide deck. We're going to post it to the CSC website, and that is located here, ucpath.ucr.edu. So I can take you there right now. Let's see if I can find the right place. So this is the CSC website, and under training, under resources, you can see that we have a lot of different topics here, but under the Cognos section, we have all of these things to help you. So this is the user guide. So this is the report, the detail list, or maybe that's this one, reports for all users. We'll have to look and see what all this stuff is. Running their Cognos report, there's instructions, and then the application toolbar within Cognos. If you get stuck, all of these things are good information. And then we also, the good thing is this list of reports. Let's see if it doesn't come up, I have it loaded here. We won't wait. So this is a complete inventory, all Cognos reports, and that's available on the website. So it has a description and a purpose, and then it tells you the availability of that report at the department, the shared service, or the central office. If you want to know the detail, just go to the department tab, shared service, or the central office here, and you can see that it has the report name, and whether this is like a brand new report that you never had access to for the outside of the 16 reports, right, that were in that shared folder. And then if you want to know which ones were actually there, if you ever ran, you know, a report regularly from that folder, they're still included in the list. And then here you can see that they're actually in the Cognos comp folder, the WFA folder, et cetera. And so that's why you're seeing additional folders when you go to that Cognos site. So I hope that's helpful to you.
We have a question, Carol.
Yeah.
Jennifer is asking the accuracy of the reports and have they been validated by our campus? And I can say yes, absolutely. I am one of the main people who validate the reports in production and in, well, first in our QA environment and then in production. And I work with Heidi Rhodes and the HR team, and then also with Bob to validate reports. He can pull data sometimes out of HRDW that I can validate against. So yes, we have validated those reports. They are working as per the FDD, which is the design specs.
So if there's additional data that you want to see or you don't think it's reporting accurately, definitely report that to our team. So we have a community mailbox for the CSE at ucpathcsc@ucr.edu. And if you think that there's a discrepancy, please report it to us because we can open a ticket with UCPath to have it addressed. Doesn't mean that they'll always do it because sometimes these reports are global in nature. And if we add a field or remove a field or change something drastically, it's a change request. And sometimes it takes a little time to get that through the system. Other locations have to weigh in on it because all UC locations are using these reports. It's just bringing back our local data. I see that Bobby is raising her hand. Hi, Bobby.
Good morning. So regarding, I just wanted to make a comment about the DOPE report in PATH. The data integrity of that report, in my opinion, is questionable because PATH continues to post transactions to closed accounting periods. So if you are running that DOPE report, and this is a known issue and discussed at the GL work group, but if you run that report today and you run it tomorrow for a closed period, there may be different data. So I would encourage the use of SuperDope over the PATH DOPE report, but that's just my recommendation. And then I did have one other comment. Carol, could you please confirm these are SAAs, right, that were invited to this?
These are actually end users. The SAAs forwarded the information of the Zoom call because it was really meant to be for first-time users on how to access. There might be some SAAs on.
Okay. Well, I would, and maybe it's included in the announcement to the SAAs. I can't remember. There's so many announcements, but these reports really should only be assigned to those users that have a need to know as part of their job. So it's not recommended that SAAs just grant everybody access to all Cognos reports. It really should be a review of what the reports contain and whether that individual needs that report as part of their job responsibilities, because there is some sensitive information in these reports. So just a friendly reminder. Thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of why I mentioned in the beginning that there's no need to go outside of your immediate SAA. You know, if you're in the department, go to your department SAA because these have been reviewed and vetted with the, you know, with finance, you know, BFS, HR, and AP about the type of data that, you know, should be accessed by departments, shared services, and then of course the central office has higher sensitivity data available to them. Are there any other questions? All right, you can, if you think of something later, you know, please just email us and we'll respond. We're available all the time. We have a group of people that monitor this email box, and we are going to post the recording on our website, and we will have a follow-up email giving you the details of where you can find this slide deck and the recording of this presentation. So
Hey, Carol, this is Rachel. I'm sorry, I might have missed if you answered this already,
sure.
but do we need to go to our SAA to request access to Cognos, or does it go by the job title that we have?
Well, there's nothing that's automatic. You will need to request it, and then the SAA, it's part of their due diligence to ensure that it is part of your job responsibility and it's in scope. There has to be some kind of recognition of that. So yes, you need to go to your department SAA, Rachel, in your case, and request access. And they may ask you a few questions about what you want to look at and why, but that's how it's done, is that it's done through the EECS provisioning.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Carol, that's available now, right?
Yes, last week is when we rolled it out, brand new. It's available. It takes about 48 hours for you to actually get access to the reports themselves, because the Cognos team is actually a third-party vendor, and they get an ODS burst from UCPath as well in their nightly run. So then once they see those provisioning requests come in, they'll process them. So it's an overnight request for them, and then they start the provisioning process. So I would say in about 48 hours after your SAA provisions you. Okay, well, if that's it, if there's no other questions, have a wonderful day, and feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.